everyone, it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kids. In today's video I wanted to share all of the pictures that I managed to complete for Colour and Chat with Sammy's Colouring Checklist Challenge. This was something that Sammy created for us during lockdown, which started in April 2020 and finished April 2021. So we had a whole year for it, and now she's actually done a second one. So I will link this all down below for you. I'll link Sammy's channel and the links that she's got for the checklist challenges. So I just want to show you in my colouring journal what I did was I printed it out and then ticked them off when I'd done them and put the date next to it so I knew which book I was referring to, and then I wrote them all down here as well so that I could just keep a track of what I managed to complete. Now I didn't get around to finishing all of it, but I thought it would be really fun to look back and see what I did manage to complete, and just to say thank you so much to Sammy for creating this, because it really did, well at least for me, kind of give me ideas for colouring pages and motivate me to, you know, get out of my comfort zone a bit and do some pages that I wouldn't normally choose to do. So the second one I have also started doing, and I'm doing quite well with it so far. The highlighter that I've used is quite light, so you may not be able to see, but yeah, I am doing really well with it, and I hope to do the same sort of video again this time next year. So let's get started. I'm just going to keep the list to the side so that I can reference to it. So the first book is Mermaids in Paradise, and this is by Denise Klett, and I did one page in here. This was actually the first page I did that counted, and this was to colour a page with a mermaid. Now this was a complete experiment and not one of my definitely not one of my favourite pages, but I do like that I tried something a bit different. I used ink on the background. I do really like how her hair came out though, and I was using Copic markers because I got a really inexpensive set from TK Maxx. So yeah, I was testing them out on that. So that was the first prompt. And then I have quite a few prompts that I managed to tick off from Fairy Celebrations by Clara Markova. So I will go through them one by one. The first one has quite a number of prompts actually. It was this one, and I think this was one of the first pages that I did in this book. So I managed to tick off several. We have colour a double page spread, colour a page from a book by a female artist, colour a page with food, colour a page with minimum of 2 people on the page, colour a bokeh background, and colour a set of wings, which could be bug or butterfly or fairy wings, something like that. So as you can see, I'm really pleased that I managed to fulfil those prompts. The bokeh background maybe not so much. I gave it my best shot, but it didn't really work. I am contemplating going back to this page at some point and trying to add more depth to it and change it around a bit. But yeah, that was the first one. And then we have this one. Yeah, this one, which is one of my favourites that I've done in this book, definitely. So we have colour a page with homes, which could be inside decor or buildings, stuff like that. And I really like this scene. It was so much fun to colour, and yeah, one of my favourites from this book. Just looking at my list. Then we have the Halloween page, which is my favourite, I think. And for this one, the prompts that I completed was to colour the element of fire and colour a household pet. So I kind of took the household pet thing and made it my own, because obviously in this scene they wouldn't really be classed as household pets, but obviously we've got the cats here, and then some people have mice as pets as well. So yeah, really, really pleased with this one. And then the final one is actually at the beginning. I'll just go back to that one for you. This was one of the more recent pictures that I did in 2020. So we have this one, and the prompts that I did for this was colour a page with bugs, colour a page and include a stencil on your page, on the image or the background. And for that prompt, what I did was I created loads of little circles behind these flowers in the background, and then kind of coloured them in to make it look like a blurred effect. And for that, I kind of used a stencil. I drew some of the circles in myself and then also used a stencil for a few of them. So yeah, I counted that one for those prompts. So there are all the pages from Fairy Celebrations by Clara Markova. I then have one page from Fantastic Zoo by Cami Chidu, and the page was the owl that I did, and this was colour a page with a buddy, and this was a buddy colour with the wonderful Kate from Kate's Colouring Haven, and also to colour a page from a book by a male artist. So I believe Cami Chidu created this quite a while ago actually, and yeah, I just think it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, that is Fantastic Zoo. I then have a couple from the Flower Year. As many of you know, I was quite into colouring lots of pages from this book. Less so now, but I still will show these. So we have the March page, which was colour a page of blooms or flowers and colour a page representing a season. So for me, this represents the season of spring. And then we also have the April page. And the two that I completed was to colour a fear and colour a page with text on. Now, the reason I picked colour a fear was just because of how intimidating this page was, because of how detailed it is. It took me quite a while to get round to it, and because it was so detailed, I do feel like I've rushed it and the execution isn't quite as good as I was hoping for. I feel like I could have spent longer on it, but overall, considering it was one that I was a bit worried about doing, I was pleased with the results. So I think they are the pages from the Flower Year, and as you can see, it is falling apart. I was contemplating getting a second copy because there are some pages that I would love to redo, but we'll see. So that's the Flower Year. Then have a page from Wishes and Wings and Wondrous Things by Corey Dantini. And this was given to me by the wonderful Lisa, and it was a book that I'd never seen before, and it's a really, really cool book. It is on Amazon CreateSpace paper, and the pages are perforated as well. And the prompt, I think it was only one prompt. Oh no, it was quite a few actually. So the prompts for this were to colour a page with no shading, just straight colouring, colour a new to you artist, and colour a page from the last book you purchased. So technically I didn't purchase the book, but I still counted that as part of the prompt. And yeah, for this I just used marker, straight marker, and then accents of gel pen on the top. So it wasn't straight colouring with pencils, but it was straight colouring with marker. And I had a lot of fun. It was just a really nice and simple one to do. As always with CreateSpace paper, it does bleed through. And yeah, that is that page. Okay, I then have a page from Mein Spaziergang durch die Jahreszeiten by Rita Berman, and the page was this one. This is the rabbit, and if I'm honest with you, I'm not really pleased with how this page came out. There were a lot of accents that I did with gel pens and things like that, and I feel like I could have put more effort in with the shading, because there was a lot of just bits where I kind of thought, oh, I'll just block colour it instead. And yeah, I'm not thrilled about it, but it is what it is, and you know, it's still a cute page. I just feel like maybe I could have made the rabbit look like it had fur a bit more, because I used generic colours that I was comfortable with. So yeah, that is that one. And for this, it was to colour a wild animal. Obviously in this situation, it kind of is, but yeah, we have that one. Okay, so then I have a page from the Disney Princess colouring book. This is a book that I think you can get in Disneyland or Disney World, and I coloured this page, which was one of the more recent ones when I first started the challenge. So this was colour a picture based on a book, TV or film, colour something that reminds you of your childhood, and colour a page from an abandoned book. I hadn't worked in this book since at least 9 months before it. I had done this one, and this is just really good to just do straight simple colouring, and I can actually remember colouring this one and I really enjoyed doing it. That just shows how quickly this year has gone. So the reason that I picked this one for reminded me of my childhood was because I always remember loving watching Snow White. We used to have video kind of tapes which had the DVDs on, and yeah, we used to play them like that rather than having them on DVD, and we used to watch one every Saturday morning. So yeah, this was a really, you know, sentimental one to do. And yeah, I think I just used Crayola pencils on this. It was really just simple and satisfying to do. Okay, I then have quite a few pages from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly to show you, so just bear with me a minute if I'm just trying to scour through and find the pages. The first page is the title page, and I completed colour something that makes you immensely happy and colour a page from your favourite book. So most pages that I do make me happy anyway, so that was an easy one to tick off. I just decided I would choose this page to tick that prompt off for. And favourite book, I would say it's definitely up there with one of my favourite books. I think it's very hard to pick an absolute favourite book, but it's definitely one of my top 3. So yeah, that was the title page. And then we have the nameplate page, which was to colour this book belongs to page. As you can see, I haven't written my name in yet, but I do like to colour this book belongs to pages a lot, so that was a good one to tick off for that. And then we have colour fashion or clothing, and this was the page that I completed for that. As you can see, Ivy is wearing a dress which I decided to make blue, and yeah, I really enjoyed doing this page as well. It's really lovely looking back and looking at the pages. I really had so much fun with this, and first time round I didn't really have that much fun with it because it was so detailed, but now I'm trying to embrace details and just take my time with pages because it just makes the whole process a lot more fulfilling for me. So that is that page. And then this page next to it was to colour a page following a tutorial. Now I didn't colour the whole page following a tutorial, but I did follow a tutorial for the strawberries, and that was by Chris Cheng, I think. Now I have since tried to look for that tutorial, and for some reason I can't find it, but I have a feeling it's the tutorial where she's colouring a page from Fairy Miracles and it has a lot of strawberries on it, and I think that's the one. So yeah, that is that page, and I'm not sure if there are any more. Yeah, that's it from that book. I didn't manage to complete many prompts in the latter part of the year, April to April, so lots of the pages further on in this book don't really count for any of the prompts, but I have managed to complete quite a lot of pages for this time round. So yeah, that's that book. We then have a PDF, and this is a Kelly O'Gorman PDF, and the prompt for this was the element of water. So as you can see, I've got the water here. I really enjoyed colouring this. I think I used Faber-Castell pencils, and I believe you can still get this for free on her website there for you. And I printed this onto some moleskin paper. It was from a moleskin book that I wasn't using anymore, so I just decided to print onto that. It works really well, and it's got a lovely cream tone to it. And yeah, it went down really well, and I used loads of glitter gel pen. I'm not sure if you can see that on top, and yeah, had so much fun. So I really like the way with Kelly's work that she has created the, you know, the picture of the tree, but then there are different elements within it. It's really creative. So that is the PDF. Okay, we then have Dream Reese, and the page that I did towards the challenge was this one. I called this Rainbow Slide, and this was firstly for the NHS, because when I did this it was kind of at the beginning of COVID, but also it was to colour a page by an artist beginning with the letter M, so Maria Troll. And yeah, I just really wanted to do this page to pay tribute for the NHS, hence the rainbow. And yeah, it was a really fun one to do. There wasn't much in the way of really detailed colouring, so it didn't take me that long at all. And yeah, I think you can see hopefully all of the glitter. Because of the light, it doesn't really show up that well, but I did use a lot of glitter on that one. So that's Dream Reese by Maria Troll. And then we have 100 Hugs, and I completed these alien friends in here, and not my favourite page from here. I did use a lot of bright colours, which I wouldn't usually do. But the prompts were colour a postcard / pocket sized page and colour an unusual skin tone. So this is a very tiny book. In comparison to a classic hardback book like Dream Reese, it is tiny, and this isn't originally meant to be a colouring book. It was just a book I came across which has the same paper as a traditional paperback book, so it's not really meant to be colouring book paper, but it works. I use Prismacolors in this mainly. And then colour an unusual skin tone. Obviously these aren't humans, but still an unusual skin tone. I think it's kind of cool, the purple and the pink. So that's 100 Hugs by Chris Riddell. I always say Riddle, but I could be wrong. And yeah, it's such a cute book. So that's that one. Okay, the next one is Midnight Masquerade. I think we're on to the final page now. So the nameplate page was the page that I completed, and this was to colour a page your partner or family member picks. And I think I remember showing this to my mum when I got it, and she picked this page for me to do. She really liked the rabbits, and so did I. And I thought it was a good opportunity to colour the nameplate page because, as I mentioned earlier, I do really like doing them. I also did this background inspired by Rika colour, and I didn't put a border with black fine liner. I kind of just drew it myself, obviously with a ruler, but I kind of like the wobbly effect. And I think at that time, Passionista Colorista, Isabel, I think she had done a similar style for her nameplate page. And I believe I used Holbeins and polychromos for this one. Okay, and then the final two books are both Kirby Roseanne's books. I've got 2 pages from Mythomorphia. The first one is the Fire Dragon page, and the prompt for this was to colour a mythical creature, and this one was one of my favourites just because it was so out of my comfort zone and something so different for me to try. I really like the colour palette that I chose for the dragon, especially this colour here, and it was one of those that, although it is quite, well, it's not even really that detailed of a page, but I really got into the groove with it, and once I had done each element it kind of just came together. So that's that one. I really like the warm colour palette as well for that. And then we also have the Baku, and this actually could have gone for the follower tutorial because this was a Shirley XLY tutorial, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with this as well. And this was to colour the element of space or galaxy, and I think the background's perfect for that. And just generally the colours, you know, even the purple magenta colours in with the Baku, and then all of the blues. So yeah, it's kind of cool with this having pages that are quite different to each other. You know, I've got the cool colours there, the warm colours here, and then kind of a mix of all of them with this page. So they're the pages that I've done in Mythomorphia. And the final book is Morphia by Kirby Roseanne's as well. And this was the botanical compass that I did. And this was to colour a heavily grayscale page. Now, you could technically class Kirby's work as grayscaled. I mean, there isn't lots of grayscale in the way of shading, but he has put a lot of lines in for you to show where shading should be. And I do think that with the lines being there, it really speeds up the process, and something that looks really daunting actually doesn't take that long because you've already got, you know, some of the lines there indicating where shadow should be. He does quite a lot of cross-hatching things as well. So yeah, really interesting one to do. And I know it's not the most detailed, grayscaled pages, but it kind of served its purpose for the prompt. So yeah, that is the final page. So these aren't all of the pages that I completed during 2020, but I thought that I would share the ones that went towards the colouring checklist challenge. So that is everything I have to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you as always for watching, and a big huge thank you to Sammy for creating this for us. It really did keep us all motivated during at least, I mean, definitely for me, the first big lockdown that we had. And then when I was back at school, I didn't have quite as much time, but I'm really excited to see what I can create for the second colouring checklist challenge. And yeah, it just has been a lot of fun, and it's kind of like another colour along in a way, but just for a longer period of time. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please stay safe and well, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone!